Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday, and the Gremlin report for tonight is that just before going live I looked at the clock. It was 10:59. The capturing software, unfortunately, or at least the box, just started to capture parts of the screen where the box wasn't. So I was trying to sort that out, hence why it took me a few minutes to try and get it organised, because we will be having a picture corner later on, and the pictures wouldn't have shown up because it was being a bit weird. But I did change it, managed to hopefully fix it, press save, and hopefully that'll be fine for later. But anyway, hello everybody in that live chat room. Thank you for joining me on tonight's live stream. We have Billy, Terry, Joy, Mimi321, Julesy, Laurie, Deborah, Amanda, Chant of the North, Bernadine, Desert, Deluge, Joe, Tammy, Debbie, again, Julesy, Carl is in there as well, Linda, Anna, 123, Rock Child, Laurie, Mimi's going through it again, and Bev's in there. Hello everyone, thank you for making it to Tuesday night's live stream. So, other than that one technical problem, I think everything else is going to be okay, fingers crossed. And as you come through the door, if you could hit the thumbs up, that would be much appreciated, because tonight we're aiming for a huge likes goal of 375, if I remember correctly. There it is, 375. I was correct. So yeah, we're looking for every single thumbs up we can get. What I didn't change, I think, was the Phil Jam. Did we have number 59 last time? I think we did, so I'm going to change that to number 60. I'm just going to look over here to check. And yeah, Joe says number 60, because I can see his message over here, which I will read a little bit later on. But actually, I can see the number 60 is 8 minutes and 52 seconds, which is good to know, because I can leave some space for it at the end if we do hit that likes total. So yes, 375. I'm going to get the likeometer up on screen, and that capture is working, which is good. And we are at 192 likes so far. I think there was just a bit of a spike there of maybe 4 or 5. Let me move it down a little bit so it's a little bit more centralized. So 7 more people. If you can hit that thumbs up, we can get to 200, which makes it really easy for me to work out how many we need to reach the likes goal. So yes, we'll keep an eye on that total, see how close we get, but definitely a good start for tonight. Right, let me get the names of my patrons up on screen, because they make this all possible in the first place. As I always say, they are the foundation of everything that I do on the channel and my life, basically. So a massive thank you to you guys at the bottom of the screen for all of your support. I can also see that over on Patreon we've had a few more people getting involved just as free members as well, so thank you guys for joining in over there and just signing up. Sometimes I do public posts as well as the patrons only posts. So yeah, you can check those out if you want to. Head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. So I do have a link for that I can put on screen if you need to see it all typed out. But the reason that I was smiling there is because just before the live stream, I thought, I know what would be useful is with the cover videos that get requested, rather than me, if you saw my last live stream, you will see all of the boxes that have different things on and set off different things on the screen, such as, you know, that thing up there and the likeometer over there, and the, you know, my patrons at the bottom of the screen, all that kind of stuff. So I thought what would be good is if I organize the cover videos in alphabetical order, so that when they get requested, I can go to where they are, because I'm always looking at all of these boxes and I can never see the one that I want to find. And it's always the case that people will say, oh, tonight we want to see either Behind Blue Eyes or the Johnny Be Good, the Back to the Future version of that particular song. So those are the two options for tonight, which you can vote for at the top of the live chat room. But I thought it'd be good to organise it, and then I actually realised at about 20 to 11 that it's going to take me a little bit longer than I thought in order to do that. So that's on my to-do list to make setting up each live stream a little bit quicker rather than me spending 5 or 10 minutes looking through them. Sometimes I look through the list and it's not even a list, it's just random boxes. So I'm looking across all the boxes to try and find the name of the song, and I will go past the song, not realise that it was there, and I'll keep on going through and then think, well, it's literally disappeared. And then I'll go the other way through it, and then maybe the second time or the third time through, I'll spot it, and then I've got to find the other song. So yeah, that's on my to-do list for the future. Maybe every time I set up the live stream, I will just do a little bit more at a time. And this is the thing about the things that I've got up on screen that I showed you in the last live stream. I have to change it all depending on, you know, what people want to see, and yeah, to leave access to the things that I need to click on. So don't even get into when I do the Christmas Eve live stream and the Halloween live stream, because yeah, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Halloween, I then get lots of graphics in and things, and yeah, change it all around. So that takes quite a long time to set up. But these ones, at least I can save, and I don't have to do too much. It only takes me probably about an hour to set up for each live stream. So it's not too bad. But anyway, I can see Jules, he says, make sure you have Jingle Bells ready for Christmas. I think that said before it disappears. So yeah, that is one of these boxes somewhere. So that is one of those jobs. Well, I'm sure that if I organise all of the cover videos and all that kind of stuff, that I'll find it along the way, and then I'll mark it for a little bit later on, because that is one of the things that we do every year, is look at my Jingle Bells guitar cover that I did. So yeah, we will look at that at some point, but of course, much too early to jump into that yet. It's only the 21st of November. Right. Now, at this point, I also say that you don't have to donate during these live streams. Just watching is fantastic. Introduce yourself into that live chat room so that we all get to know each other's usernames. And sometimes we see you guys up on screen in picture corner. If you are a Facebook user, you can head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group page over on Facebook, and you can upload any pictures that you want to there. If you've got any merchandise, or the mugs, and plugging of the mug early doors on tonight's live stream, we've got mugs, hoodies, t-shirts, bucket hats, caps, tumblers, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, the tumblers are probably a good purchase if you don't have one already, because it keeps your drinks hot or cold. But getting closer to Christmas now, you want to keep your beverages warm for as long as possible. And certainly here in the UK, things are getting chillier and will be getting chillier. We've had a random few days of it being a little bit warmer, but it's going to be getting properly cold getting up to Christmas and then New Year. So it means that if you do make a cup of tea in a normal mug, after about 5 minutes it's cold, because it is just generally cold in the air. So unless you've got your heating turned up massively in your house, which isn't something that people do here because it costs a lot of money now with energy prices being ridiculous. So even better, save on your energy bills and still have a hot drink with a tumbler. So yeah, I never used to use one until they were available on the spring.com store, and yeah, since I got one I use it all the time. So there we go. And by the way, if you want to go through to that spring.com store, then there's a link in the description below, and you might have the tray underneath this video, and you can click on any item you want there. It will take you through to the store. But yeah, the link is in the description below. And keep an eye out for anything happening for Black Friday, even though it's turned into now, I think, a week, like Black Friday week. At least that's happening on Amazon here in the UK. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. If there's anything that happens, because there aren't usually any discounts over on spring.com, but if there are, I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I'll let you guys know over on Patreon, because, yeah, obviously, if you can save a little bit of money, then it's all good, and I'll let you guys know exactly when the best time to purchase is. I'll maybe have a little check to see if there's anything, and then warn you guys ahead of time, because sometimes if it is literally just for Friday or the weekend, you'll only have a few days. If it does go as far as the weekend, I can mention it on Saturday's live stream. But Anyway, we will get on with tonight's live stream, and I can see that there has been a donation in the super chat window already, so thank you for that, Val. And by the way, between 45 and 60% of donations in the super chat window go to YouTube, and between 3 and 5% go to PayPal through the PayPal link in the description below. But you don't have to donate. But thank you, Val, for this donation of £15. And the message is, had some good news yesterday about my health and just wanted to spread a little happiness. Have a drink on me, Phil, or a pizza, or a Terry's chocolate orange. So thank you for that. And this is the thing, that with Christmas coming up, that is prime chocolate orange time. That's when I generally get into the Terry's chocolate orange. But I do get these Terry's chocolate orange bars, which are quite small. Obviously, they're very small. But the thing about having a whole chocolate orange is that you can, eat probably about half of it at once. And some people do eat the whole thing at once, but I try to keep myself under control a little bit, because there's just going to be a ridiculous amount of fat and calories in a whole chocolate orange. Talking about fat and calories, all that kind of stuff. Also, fast food. I haven't had fast food or pizza in a very long time, and I'm going to try and hold out for Christmas, because I'm going on a bit of a healthy attempting thing. Over the last few days, I've had like chicken, with rice, and then some sweet and sour sauce with that. I've had vegetables, I've had eggs, and I'm trying to keep healthy, because I know that at Christmas the wheels are just going to come off the wagon. And not that I'm generally one of these people that tends to put on weight, but I'm just thinking about fat content and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know whether it's the same in other countries, but here in the UK, they say that every day you should have between 60 and 70 grams of fat a day. And you should have, from man, 2,500 calories. Now, that 2,500 calories is ridiculous. If I was to eat that every day, I would be eating 1,000 calories more than I need every single day. So that means that I would literally, imagine a store-bought pizza, that is quite big, and it usually serves 2 or 3 people. Imagine having one of those extra a day, and that's what the government is telling you that you should be eating. So, I know that on average I burn between 1,400 and 1,600 calories a day. So, yeah, having 2,500 calories means that once I'd finished the day, all of my eating has finished. I would then have to eat a pizza before I went to bed. And I'd have to do that every single day. So it means over the course of a week, I'd have to eat 7 more pizzas than I would have originally eaten. And then 14 more pizzas. And then over the time of a month, I would have eaten 30 extra pizzas for those 30 days. Yeah, the amount of calories is ridiculous. But also, they tell you to take in 60 to 70 grams of fat. And taking in that amount of fat, I mean, it is just a very small amount of fat. When you start looking at the packaging, you'll find that most of the meals you have probably 20 to 30 grams of fat in. So it means that if you have 2 meals a day, you're not allowed to eat anything else. So you're not allowed to have a yogurt, after your meal. You won't be able to have a drink after your meal. You definitely don't have a milkshake or anything like that. You won't be able to have a biscuit with your cup of tea because you've already had your fat allowance. So the numbers don't make sense. And I don't understand where they get these numbers from. But anyway, just something that I've noticed now that I'm being a little bit more healthy for the next, 6 weeks? Maybe not even that. Maybe 4 or 5 weeks. I'm going to try and stick it out because, I know that at Christmas I'm going to be probably eating more than I should, but also eating some new stuff that I've discovered, such as Doritos with melted cheese on. That's the main thing I'm thinking about eating at Christmas. Not turkey or anything like that, or the Christmas, definitely not Brussels sprouts. But none of that Christmas meal stuff. It's Doritos with cheese on. So I'm going to save up all of my next 4 or 5 weeks of eating and then just go a little bit crazy probably for a few days. So there we go. And yes, Elaine says about good fats. You've got saturated fats, unsaturated fats, and you want to try and stick to eating unsaturated fat. But I mean, the problem is that you can still, like Doritos, for example, they are high in unsaturated fat. So you think, oh great, I'll just eat loads of Doritos. But it still doesn't work that way because it's still got a lot of calories in, which means you're taking in a lot of energy. If you're not burning off energy, then energy will get stored and will get stored as fat. So yeah, this is the problem. Same thing with peanuts. You know, having... or any kind of nuts, when you're eating those, they're high in unsaturated fat, which is good. Unsaturated fat replaces saturated fat, and saturated fat is the type of fat that is sticky and it's thick, which means that when it's in your body, it gets stuck in arteries and that kind of stuff, and you can have heart problems and all that kind of, you know, it really does affect blood flow, and then you get high blood pressure because your arteries are getting thinner because of the buildup of saturated fat. So yeah, and having high blood pressure is never a good thing. So yes, you want to stick to unsaturated fats, but like I said, it's still something that you don't want to just go mental on having unsaturated fat. I mean, I would do eating Doritos, but I've cut those out of my diet for the moment, and I'm pretty much going teetotal, just having a little bit of fat, probably maybe 30 to 40 grams a day. And yeah, I'm just going to be really strict with it until Christmas. And this is the other thing, that I've been for a couple of runs, which is quite unbelievable that I have actually used the treadmill that I purchased, because I thought, oh, I'm going to get fit, but I don't have time to, you know, go out for a run. It'll be a lot better if I can just go for a run in a stationary position, so that once I've finished, I can then get straight back to doing whatever I need to do. So I have used my treadmill a couple of times in the last week, maybe. So yeah, healthy eating, going for a run, and there's only like 2 runs of 15 minutes, and I'm going to gradually build it up maybe to half an hour. But and maybe do some walks as well. This is another thing, that doing a brisk walk is good for burning fat. So when you start running, you're burning carbohydrates. So it means that you've got to have eaten those to give you that energy. But if you just keep on walking, it'll burn up fat because it's a lot lower intensity. So anyway, this is the reason I've said before about people when they're eating energy bars, and professional athletes and tennis players eat bananas because they are high in carbohydrates, and simple carbohydrates, meaning that they give you energy very quickly. So after eating it, you get lots of energy, and that's why bananas work so well. But if you don't use that energy, if you eat a banana, it means that you've taken in the energy that would be needed to play tennis, but you're not playing tennis. So the energy from the banana has to go somewhere, and sadly, it doesn't leave your body. It gets stored on you somewhere, and yeah, it'll get stored as fat, unless you use it within that time frame of having just eaten it, and maybe within an hour or 2 using that energy up if you are playing tennis, for example. So yeah, this is the thing, you've got to keep an eye on what you're taking in, especially if you're trying to get healthy. And I think most people just want to lose weight, even though I've never really followed my weight, like how much I weigh. I just know that I'm in and around a particular weight, and I don't know the difference between, kilograms. I know that when I was working out, I was about 70 kilograms, something like that. But I had a very low fat percentage, so it meant that I probably didn't look very heavy. But because muscle weighs more than fat, that's just the way that it works out. But yeah, all I ever go on is the way that my body looks. If I start looking like I'm putting on weight, then I just notice it. I don't really look at scales. And this is the other thing, that when you're looking at bodybuilders, you know, they could weigh about 16 stone, 18 stone, because it's just muscle. Whereas you never look at a bodybuilder and say, oh, he needs to lose a bit of weight because he looks about 16 stone. And we talk about stone and pounds here in the UK. So yeah, I don't know what that transfers to or converts to in kilograms. But anyway, let's get into the donations because there have been some in the PayPal window. So thank you guys for these. And by the way, if you can hit that thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. I forgot to do the calculation when we got to 200. So it's going to be very complicated for me to try and figure out what this is. 131. There we go. There's a number that I've picked out of thin air. If that makes us 375 from 244, or 244 from 375 in my head, I'm going to say that that's whatever number I just said. Sometimes they pop into my head, and that's, okay, 245, so that's 40, 50, 67, 130 more people. So, did I say 129? I don't know if I was right or not. If I was, then there you go. Probably the best calculation I've ever done on a live stream. If it wasn't right, then that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So, yes, keep on hitting that thumbs up. And, oh, Cindy said it is the correct number. Okay, there you go. So, best bit of maths there. Mark that up. What's the date today? 21st of November. 2023, a new maths record for me. And oh, almost forgot about this. Talking about maths, or math, as I know a lot of you refer to it as, over in the USA. I think everyone calls it that in the USA. We don't here in England, but we have gone up to 330,000 subscribers. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. And yeah, getting involved on the channel, leaving a comment, and just subscribing in general. That's great. If you want to get, what was I about to say there? If you want to get notified for all of the videos and the live streams, I was probably going to say and the live streams very much too early, but if you want to get notified for the videos and the live streams, make sure that you hit the notification bell next to the subscribe icon when you click on that, so then you will not miss any videos. Sometimes, let me get rid of this to make everybody quiet, sometimes YouTube doesn't tell everybody about the videos, so if you really want to get notified for every single video and the live streams, then you can join in over on Patreon, because I do a post there for every video that I do here on the YouTube channel. So let's jump into that PayPal window, because we had a donation from Roseanne for £5. So thank you for that, Roseanne. And that was at 26 minutes past 7 on Sunday evening. And the message is, "Hi Phil, it is Thanksgiving this week in the US. And I just want to thank you for your hard work and wonderfully entertaining channel. It is an oasis in the craziness of life." So thank you for that, Roseanne. And yes, not something that we celebrate here, but happy Thanksgiving to all of you that are celebrating it. And yes, I don't know how much time you get off for Thanksgiving, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a whole week, or maybe they just give you a day, but it'd be cool if they give you a whole week for Thanksgiving. But thank you, Roseanne, for that. And we have another donation that's come in from Tammy, and this was at 33 minutes past 3 on Tuesday morning, which of course it was this morning, very early on. And thank you for that, Tammy, the £10 donation with a message that says, "Hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 330,000 subscribers. Thanksgiving is on Thursday here in the US. Even though you don't celebrate it in the UK, what are some of the things that you are thankful for? Happy Thanksgiving." So thank you for that, Tammy. And yes, if it's on Thursday, maybe you just get a day off. Or maybe you could get Thursday and Friday. Sometimes we have a bank holiday Friday here in the UK, which means you then get Friday, Saturday and Sunday off. I say you get, I don't. A bank holiday is just like a normal day for me, and a Sunday is like a normal day for me. So yeah, some people don't have that time off. But if you've got a normal job, like a 9 to 5, then you'd get a Friday off, a Saturday off, a Sunday off. Sometimes you even have bank holiday Mondays. So you get a Monday off after the Saturday and the Sunday. I wonder if you sometimes have a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, and a Monday off. That would be amazing if you got that amount of time off. But I don't keep track of them because, yeah, I'm just always doing the same thing. So I'm sure some people who have 9 to 5 jobs are waiting for those bank holidays. There seems to be quite a lot of them. But anyway, right, things to be thankful for. I would say probably just the things that I have. Like I always say, enough food. That's great. Having a roof over my head is another thing that's great. And yeah, I mean, family as well. I think those are the main things that I'm thankful for. And I think as well, when you look at all the things going on in the world at the moment, just being where I am, that's a lottery. You don't know where you're going to get born. And I was very lucky that I happened to be born in England, and it isn't somewhere that is in a conflict or has any kind of regular conflict with another country that might be very close. So yeah, not only being lucky where I was born, but being lucky when I was born, because yeah, if I'd been born in the what would it have been, probably in the 1920s, it meant that then I would have been probably definitely at age, because some of the people who had to, I say people, they were kids really in the Second World War to get involved with that. Yeah, if you were born in and around kind of 1920, then that would have been, and exactly the same, you can go 20 years earlier before the First World War. So yeah, something that you just had to go off and fight. I think that I'm very lucky to be born in this time, even though there's still conflicts going on, and yeah, as depressing as it is that the human race just can't get over this war thing. And yeah, I've said many times that hopefully at some point in the future, humans will realise that there's nothing to be gained by killing each other, because everybody is the same. And some people don't seem to have that empathy part of the brain yet to think, I wouldn't like to be treated like that, so I wonder how they feel being treated like that. Or, being shot or attacked or tortured and all these different things. So yes, I feel very lucky to have the things that I mentioned, the first 3 things, but then add on top of that probably things that I've got no control over, location of where I was born, and countries that are bordering. In the UK, we're a bit different because we've got Scotland and Wales and, Ireland as well, just over the water. And even though there's been things that have happened in the past, now I think we're at the point where we realise that, yeah, there's nothing to be gained by fighting each other, and we are now, the British Isles, we are the United Kingdom. So, yeah, that is what I'm thankful for as well, because I know it's just luck. There's nothing that is going to, nothing that you can do to make sure that you're born somewhere in a particular country, or even at a particular time. We don't know when we're going to get born. And then, do we get reincarnated? Who knows? This is why when I said about trying, not that I'd be able to remember it, but trying to survive the Titanic, something that I want to try and figure out. Oh, and I did have some comments about that. Somebody said they'd take deck chairs into the water and hang on to those to keep themselves out of the water. And yeah, I've looked into that. They weren't buoyant enough to keep you out of the water. No matter how many you got, it would never have been enough to keep your full body out of the water. So you probably would have died from hypothermia after about 15 minutes, maybe half an hour if you're lucky. So yeah, couldn't have done that. Somebody else said about in the movie Titanic that at the end, and I know that actually loads of people said this, and is it James Cameron, the director? He had arguments with people about it for years, because they said, looking at the size of the piece of furniture, wood, a wardrobe, door, whatever it was that Kate Winslet was on, or Rose, Jack, Leonardo DiCaprio, could have got on there as well. And actually his argument would be the same as my argument, that it's not so much that they could have maybe both fitted on there. When he tried to get on there, it started to make it unstable. And I think it's more of a personality trait there, that Jack didn't want to risk Rose being slightly submerged in the water, because that then greatly reduces your chances of survival. So I would say it's more of a personality thing, like a chivalry thing. in order to keep her out of the water as much as possible so that she survived, he didn't mind sacrificing himself. So, yeah, I know that that's something that Mr. Cameron has been saying to people, but everyone's saying, oh, she could have survived. But I think it's a personality thing rather than a physics thing. He didn't want to risk Rose's life for any possible reason. So anyway, there we go, back to Titanic. And the reason why, just in case I do get... I was just going to say reinvented, but I guess that could be another way of saying it. But yeah, if I were to live again, you don't know when you're going to get born. Maybe I am going to be reincarnated earlier on. Obviously, you have no memory of it, but then maybe you need to get hypnotized for all that kind of stuff to remember it. So anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. And Nicole donated £12.49 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, I was able to watch this live stream. Many good things for you. Love and rock. So thank you for that, Nicole. And that was at 50 minutes past 2 this afternoon. So thank you for that, Nicole. And Paul has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, congratulations on 330,000 subscribers, Phil. I thank you, Phil, for creating this fun and happy place. Looks like catch-up crew for me. Wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Please spike those likes, all y'all. So, yes, if you can hit that thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. And yeah, great idea there from Paul to spike the likes. We are at 274, so we're looking for one more person, and then we need 100 more people to hit that thumbs up. So we've still got a ways to go for tonight's Phil Jam number 60. It will be if we make it to that, and we've maybe got 35 minutes. There's always a race against time, especially considering that the total goes up all the time. So I think this is probably one of the highest totals we've been aiming for in the recent past. 375 does seem like a lot, especially on a Tuesday. So yeah, every single thumbs up is massively appreciated. Now, we're going to get into another donation. And the thing that I was going to say is that sometimes when I do this with my hands, I can feel that, I don't know whether this is the same, that I don't know if everyone can do this, but when I put my hands together, sometimes that can happen where you squeeze out the air and you get that kind of sound. And when I do that, this is why I think that if I do that and accidentally the air comes out, people will think that I've done something when I haven't done something. I think even when I try and do it the other way, it still does it that way. So my hands are of perfect size. They're obviously making some kind of perfect seal. No matter where I put my hands, it'll make a perfect air pocket in there and potentially, put air out. It is not that I've ever done it, but it would be quite a funny thing to pretend or get somebody else in trouble and then kind of look at them in a funny way, but you've actually done it with your hands. So anyway, that's what I was thinking there, just in case I put my hands together and it makes a sound, it's my hands doing it. Right, let's move on. Can everybody do that? I don't know whether, I know that actually some people at school, they used to put their hand under their armpit and do it like that, but they had to do that, but I didn't let them know that I could do it with my hands. But, it's not something that, for me, it's not an important skill to be able to have. So I haven't really found a use for it. But, again, just getting sidetracked here, quick story. When I was at college, I put a fart machine in one of my lecturer's desks. And yeah, that was remote controlled. So I had it in there, and it was like an hour's lecture. And it was going on for ages, probably about 50 minutes into the lecture. And throughout the whole lecture, I wasn't concentrating. This was a sport and exercise science lecture, so it was anatomy and physiology was the subject. And I wasn't particularly listening because I was waiting for the lecturer to do something where I could set off the fart machine so that it would make that noise. So I was waiting for so long, and then, he dropped his board pen. So it was amazing because he bent over to pick it up, and I pressed it, and it was perfect timing. And even better than that, because it was in a wooden desk. Imagine the body of a guitar, the body of an acoustic guitar it's that shape in order to resonate, to amplify the sound of the strings. The sound of the strings go into the sound hole and they reverberate, resonate, and come out, so you hear it at volume. So imagine that effect if you had a guitar that was designed to amplify sound. It was exactly the same with his wooden desk. So it was great because it sounded even better than the machine by itself. So when he bent over to pick up his pen, I pressed it, and of course the whole lecture room erupted with laughter. And of course we couldn't hear what he was saying because everyone was laughing so loudly. He was trying to say that it wasn't him, which just made it even better. So the thing is, just to qualify this particular lecturer was probably in his 30s or 40s, and I would have been in my teenage years, so 17 or 18 years of age. And we had a bit of a running joke because he was the manager of the first team, the football team, and I was captain of that. He was young enough to still, play football himself, so he used to get involved with training, all that kind of stuff. And there was a five-a-side tournament where the teachers put in a team, and because he knew that I was very good at football, he went into my bag and hid my trainers. I think I've told you about this before, but they're like football trainers, because on the day of that competition, that was the day that we were playing the teachers team, the lecturers. We call them teachers here in the UK, but the lecturers team. So it's 5 against 5. So without me knowing, he had gone into my bag, taken out into my kit bag, taken out my trainers to hide them, so then when we played their team, I didn't have any shoes that I could wear. So that's the kind of lecturer we're talking about. So that's why it was really funny, because it was me getting my own back on him for hiding my football trainers for that particular game. So it was great at college because I had some really good mates. They're into football as well, and the lecturers, especially that one, was quite a good laugh. So actually I jammed with the science lecturer as well, between lessons where we had a long gap, and he played guitar as well. So yeah, we had a jam together, which is great because he was into Eddie Van Halen. So that was really cool. And yeah, college was a great time. Probably not for learning, even though I did do quite well, but it's great for kind of the other side, the social side, and just playing tricks on lecturers and having just quite a good time. But obviously it wasn't just all fun and games. We did do quite well. I say we did, me and my friends did quite well with our grades as well, which meant that then I could get into university. But anyway, getting sidetracked. Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. The message is: do certain guitars pair better with certain amplifiers and bottoms? How do you build a complete unit for playing? So thank you for that, Steve. And in terms of particular sounds, I'm not sure whether you do it that way round unless you're trying to emulate somebody's sound. So you might know that a particular guitarist uses this guitar and they use this amp and they might use this set of pedals. So then you get that exact same setup because you want to sound like them. I think for a lot of original artists and guitarists, it's something that comes about just through experimentation and the way that you want to sound. Like with my particular sound, when I was I went through different amps. I had a Fender. What was it? Oh no, was it a Marshall? I can't remember. But anyway, I had a full stack at some point, a MOSFET that was kind of really old, and that was kind of like playing through a sock. It had no top end to it. So I then bought a little mixer that I then EQ'd my amp. So I put that effectively in my effects chain so that I had an EQ to brighten the sound. I then had a tone port. Oh no, what was it called? Pod XT Live, I think it was. It might have been a Pod XT Live. But anyway, I then had an effects unit. I've had so many effects units. I had the original Pod XT. But yeah, so the XT Live I then had, and then ran that as. That's a multi-effects processor. So I've never been one of these people that's bought individual, like a stomp box and all that kind of stuff, and then done my effects chain that way. I've always just used an effects processor. But anyway, long story short, it's just something that gradually just evolves over time, that I thought, right, I want this kind of sound, because the kind of sound I was getting live wasn't top-endy enough. I didn't have enough middle in my sound, so I wanted a boost of the mid somehow. And yeah, my Fender Strat, it didn't have that humbucker sound available to it, so then I put in that twin blade, dual blade, some people call it, pickup in the bridge position of my Fender Strat, so that I could get more of a distorted sound, a little bit more aggression. And then I got actually before this, I got the Line 6 Spider HD 75, and again, that was fine, it just wasn't loud enough. So then I got the HD 150, which is behind me, and because I used to work in a guitar shop, teaching in the shop, it meant that between lessons I could try out all of the gear, and it meant that I could try out different amps and Marshalls and Line 6 amps, Orange amps as well. So yeah, I could test them out with different guitars, so it meant that I could find the sound that I wanted. And I started just messing around with an Ibanez Geo, which is my black guitar, which I purchased, and I found that with the HD 150 was the sound that I wanted for my live performances, because it gave me everything in the tone that I wanted. And it was quite easy as well. There's a bit of a bonus that all of the effects are stored in the amp, so you just dial it in, and then you've got a small pedal board that you use to change effects. So yeah, for me, that's just the way that I did it. It just evolved. So now I'm sure that if somebody wanted the sound that I have, they'd just get everything that I've got. But yeah, in terms of finding what goes well with what, for me it was just a case of experimentation. So that's just the way that I did it. But I knew the sound that I wanted. So when you get closer to it, you think, oh yeah, that's it. And then when you get an amp, like with my sounds, I just dialed in the sounds, because I think, right, I want it to have more top end. So, you just tweak the treble and think, right, I need more mids, boost the mids, and I've got too much bass, so take that down a bit. And right, I need a little bit more distortion or more drive, so turn that up, and maybe a touch of reverb. For live, reverb is something that, yeah, you don't really need too much of, just a tiny amount, maybe on your clean sound. But for pretty much, yeah, playing at volume, the sound of the venue will give you, obviously, your resonance chamber. That's where all of those sound waves are going off into. So yeah, you don't need too much. But I always had a little bit on my clean sound. So anyway, thank you for that, Steve. And Debbie has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Debbie, in the messages. Hi, Phil. Thanks for a fun behind-the-scenes look last live stream. Congrats on 330,000 subscribers. You are amazing. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that, Debbie. And I've just spotted, I don't know whether I've missed this before, but I spotted that one. That was an ad that was just about to play. So thank you, Debbie, for that donation. And 300 likes. We're looking for 75 more people to hit that thumbs up to have a Phil Jam. So yeah, we'll have to try and drum up as many thumbs up as we can get in that live chat room. And by the way, Behind Blue Eyes is in the lead for tonight's cover video. That has 56% of the vote. So if you want to hear that one, keep on clicking on it. And if you want to hear the other one, click on that one. And that is Johnny Be Good. I said it at the beginning, but as you guys know from the last live stream, when I showed you everything that I look at, I only get to see the one that is in the lead, and I have to try and remember which other one is the option. So yeah, Johnny Be Good is the other song. 56%, I mean, it's quite close, but I think it might be Behind Blue Eyes. And it's 52 minutes past 11, so we'll keep an eye on that clock. Before we jump into the cover video, we'll just have a look in the PayPal window again, because there's been another donation in there. This has come through from Drew. So thank you for this, Drew. And it is a straight up donation of £26.75. So thank you for that, Drew. And Carl has donated £2 as well. Thank you for that, Carl. That's a straight up donation as well. And Cindy has donated £20. Thank you for that, Cindy. And the message is, how has the hair product experimentation been going that you mentioned last week? So, yeah, thank you for that, Cindy. And yeah, the experimentation has been relatively successful. I've stopped using the frizz nullifier stuff that I didn't know was making my hair unfrizzy, and now I'm using a conditioner which I never really used to use before, but it stops my hair from kind of getting in knots. And at the moment, I mean, you can probably see it's actually, I think the volume is gradually, it's gradually getting the anti-frizz stuff out of my hair. So after I have washed my hair and dried it, it does actually get pretty big, actually to the point where I do push it down. And this is the thing that I think, now that I'm not using the defrizzifier, that it is getting back to being quite thick. I don't think it's going to get as thick as it was, like in the first video that we saw, where is the live version of We Can Fall Down. That's when I was using the thicker, fuller hair that's now changed the recipe and it doesn't make your hair thicker anymore. But during that gig, this is the other thing that is very hot. When performing, so it means that you're kind of sweating, and I know for a fact that my hair does increase quite dramatically in volume when I do get quite hot. So yeah, at the moment I'm not hot, and these side bits are kind of I don't know, that's quite a lot of volume at the side, so if I push it down it still kind of pops out. You can see it all popping out the side. So if I was hot, that would probably be more dramatic all over. But the experimentation is that noticeably after having a shower, drying my hair, it's now a lot thicker, just because the frizz stuff was obviously doing a good job. So if you do have really frizzy hair that's really big and you want to get rid of it, then use what I was using. And I can't remember exactly what it was called, but I know it was from Scandinavian Biolabs, maybe. I'm not sure whether I just made that up or not. But anyway, the reason that I was using that shampoo is because it was like on a subscription basis. So it meant that they kept on sending me out a new shampoo every month. But I didn't use one every month. So it means that I had like 6 or 7 or 8 of them just in the cupboard, stacked up. So I was just trying to get through them. But then I now realised that, they're anti-frizz shampoos. So it just made my hair kind of really, I don't know, unvolumified, which is what it tends to be like naturally. So anyway, thank you for that, Cindy. So yeah, experimenting has been successful, because I have learned something about certainly that product that I was using. But thank you, Lucy, as well, who has donated $4.99 in the super chat window. And the message is William Flanagan wants to know, how many guitars do you have? And how many times have I been asked this, and I count them up and then I forget what the number is, but it's maybe 10. There's a round figure, because actually the reason that I say that is because when I was younger, I had one guitar that I got when I was like 13 or 14, which is my Tanglewood Nevada, that I showed on a video recently. I can't remember what that was for, but the reason for using it is because I knew that I had to totally retune the strings, and I could do it on my old guitar because I didn't mind kind of wrecking the strings on that and didn't want to do it on any of my other guitars. But the reason that I say 10, and I'm not sure, I'd have to count them up, is because every guitar that you can see isn't one that I've purchased. So, I'm just very lucky that Mario sent me the Gem and the Maton as well. The Fender got sent to me by Fender, which is very nice. And then we had the other one, the Mugabe guitar over here, which, got sent to me as well. So this is why that I lose track. Or at least I don't know. I'm going to have to count them up, and then I can add, or write that number down once I've added them up. But yeah, the reason was when I was 13 or 14, I had one guitar. Then I got my Fender Strat. So that turned into 2 guitars. And that was fine. I've got 2 guitars. So I knew I had 2 guitars. And then I got an acoustic guitar. Actually, then I got another acoustic guitar. Then I got the Ibanez Geo. Once I got the Geo, then I got, well, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm trying to think if there are any other ones, because I might have forgotten one. I'm sure. Oh, there's a classical guitar. I'm not going to count that because that was absolutely rubbish. And I think that has now been chucked because the action was literally 1 centimeter. So yeah, try and play fast on that action. So, good luck. So normally with an action, it's measured in millimeters because the distance isn't that much. Whereas this was literally measured. It might have been 1 centimeter or more. So yeah, an absolute nightmare to play. But I did used to teach on it, so it was playable. But it's just very difficult. So anyway, there you go. 9 guitars, I'm going to say. I'm looking around this room to see if any others. I can spot any others, but there we go. And I'm not counting bass guitars, just guitars, acoustic or electric. So, right, we are going to be jumping into tonight's cover video. But, David has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, David. The message is, hi, Phil. Did you enjoy listening to the new Beatles song, Now and Then? So, yes, I did enjoy listening to it. And, I mean, I know that I've certainly received messages of people saying, they weren't sure about it or didn't like it very much, and some people did like it, and some people look at it from the point of view of it, and this is really how I see it as being a bookend and something that is a definite full stop to the Beatles' work, and something that where they are all on the recording and it is an official release and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I don't think it was ever going to be, something that was going to be, for the future, one of their kind of huge hits, or I don't think it was ever planned out to be like that anyway. It was just something as, I don't know, it's something that was playing. It was for a reason. It's playing the part of having a final release for Beatles fans to appreciate, enjoy, and, like I said, have a bookend so that you've got that whole story from beginning to end. So, yeah, I mean, it's great that technology allowed that to happen. And I think because it was a demo, effectively, but it is quite a complete demo. And I did say this when I did the video about Now and Then, about my opinion of it, that it was a full song. It wasn't something that was pieced together from little bits of ideas and then they've just tried to get it together and released it as some kind of money grab thing. It was something that was already planned out as a full song, and actually there's more to the song than was actually released in the end, so you could say there's even more of a song than was released. So yeah, I did that in my video as well, talking about that kind of pre-chorus or the middle 8, which I think it would have worked as, and that's also called a bridge. And actually somebody said in a comment about because I called it a pre-chorus, meaning before the chorus, and somebody said, you mean the bridge? And a bridge is a musical term. Like when you're talking about a musical composition, you're talking about a section that is different to the rest of it. And if you've got a pre-chorus, of course, that is different to the rest of the song. But the reason that I call it a pre-chorus is because in some songs you have a verse, you'll then have a pre-chorus, and then you'll have a chorus. You'll go back to the verse. You'll have the pre-chorus again, and you'll go into a chorus, and then you'll have a middle 8. And because of the definition of a bridge being different to the rest of the song, I think that once you've heard like the pre-chorus, or if people are calling that a bridge, you've already heard it twice. So technically it's not that different anymore. It's a progression that we've already heard. So that's why I tend to refer to the middle 8 as the bridge, because it is different. It's one part of the song that's different to the rest of we haven't heard it before, and it's not going to get repeated. So you generally have that like 3/4 of the way through the song before the then end chorus, for example. So yeah, just to address a comment about that. But I think that would have worked as a mid-late, the part that they didn't eventually put in the final song. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch that video that I made on my opinion or review. It's more of an analysis video on Now and Then. But thank you for that, David. And Jan has donated 20 Norwegian kroner, so thank you for that. And it's the guy saying cool. So thank you, Jan. We are going to be jumping into tonight's cover video. And by the way, we've still got quite a way to go to hit the lights goal for tonight. So we are going to maybe 320. It's going to stay on 319. So we need lots more thumbs up in order to, what's that, like 55, is it? Maybe 55 more people to hit the thumbs up. So maybe you can do that if you haven't used your thumbs up token yet. It would be massively appreciated. If we do hit that goal tonight, we will have a jam at the end of the live stream. But let's jump into this. It is, I was going to say, let me just end the poll to make it official. I'm assuming that Behind Blue Eyes isn't going to get overtaken in a millisecond. It is 56% to Behind Blue Eyes. So we'll jump into this. Obviously, it's going to be my version of the Who's classic. And I'll catch you guys after this. Rock.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be fated, to telling only lies. But my dreams, they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours all lonely. My love is vengeance, it's never free.
And there we have it. That was my version, and I did cut that off a little bit early because there's talking at the end. There might have been more of that end solo. I might have jumped in a little bit too early there. But anyway, my version of Behind Blue Eyes. And we do have still a picture corner to get through. So we're currently at 330 likes. So I don't think we're going to hit tonight's likes goal for the Phil Jam. So we will jump into... We'll either have the... Obviously we're going to have picture corner, but we'll have maybe a riff of the week, or maybe I'll ask you guys in the live chat room whether you want a riff of the week or a Phil tune. But let's jump into picture corner to see what is going on in there tonight. And this is where I load up the... I say I load up. I hope that it loads up the screen grab that I set up earlier. And there it is. So it's actually gone full screen as well, which is probably better than normal. So let me go to the messages to make sure that I read out exactly what I'm supposed to be reading out. And this is the first picture of two. So I'm going to show this first one because if I read out the message, then it's going to reference the second picture as well. But let me... This is Barbara, by the way, obviously on the left hand side with the Wings of Pegasus merchandise on, and the bucket hat, by the way. And this is Barbara with Jodie Ritson. And let me go to the second picture because now I can read the message. So Barbara's message says, some pictures from the Days of the Dead convention in Chicago, Illinois, with actor / singer Michael DeBar and my good friend Jodie Ritson. It was a great day and I got hugs from both. Of course, had to wear my Wings of Pegasus t-shirt and bucket hat. So, thank you, Barbara, for sending that one in. And if you guys want to send in any pictures yourselves, by the way, if you're a Facebook user, you can head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group page over on Facebook and upload any pictures there, and then Laura will link me to them. But we have a couple more pictures. We have Dina here as well. So thank you for sending this one in, Dina. And Dina says, mother of the bride with a cup of tea before the big moment. And there we have it. So I'm not sure that a cup of tea from a Wings of Pegasus mug is going to take off as a pre-wedding ritual, but thank you for that, Dina, for taking the picture, and congratulations as well to Dina's daughter, and all happy returns, congratulations, all that kind of stuff, and hope it all went swimmingly. Assuming, yeah, that it must have happened in order for us to get this picture. So, thank you for that, Dina. And Elaine has sent in a picture of computers. I mean, she has literally sent in a computer. In the middle, all I can see is the middle one, but looking on the live stream feed, you can see my arrow here as well. I can only see this one, but on the stream I can see that there are two other ones. So, Elaine, thank you for sending this in. The message is, invasion of the Phil Jams, setting up my new computer and getting a bit punchy. So thank you for that. And there are definitely, I'm not going mad, there are definitely 3 screens there. So I mean, if you're playing 3 jams at the same time, that's going to sound a little bit messy with lots of different tracks going on. But thank you for that, Elaine. And that is it for tonight's Picture Corner. So thank you guys for sending in your pictures and for linking me to them, Laura. Right, so let me see if I can get rid of that. Get back to me on screen. Right, it is 12 minutes past midnight, so we are going to be jumping into a riff of the week because we haven't got that long left of the live stream, and having said that, I haven't set it up. I think the Phil tune will maybe go on a little bit too long, so let me click on this and get over to my channel. So what I need from you guys is a number between 1 and 100, even though I think we've got to get a little bit lucky because I'm going to the riff of the week list here that Laura has sent me, so thank you for that as well. And here we have the list. Right, so we've done a lot of riffs. We are looking for a number between 1 and 100. Let's see. Oh, we got 55 from Elaine. 55 we have had. And, oh, now they're going through quickly. Janet says number 11. We've had number 11. 42 from Jim. We've had number 42. Like I said, we're going to have to get lucky. What about 55? Did I just say 55? I'm not sure. 67. We've had 67. And 34. This is now kind of like a lottery in order to get one that we haven't had before. 6. Who said number 6? Mimi321. We have a winner. Riff of the week number 6. We have not had yet. And it now shows me all of the riffs. Uh-oh. Here it is. It just shows me all of the 60s because I wrote in 6. Right, so let me click on that and click on that. Right, I think that is ready to go. I'm going to have to adjust my screen so that the screen grab appears. Right, let me get that picture there. Get that there. Oh, it's gone full screen. Why is it going full screen today? It must have been because I did the screen grab on the last live stream. But anyway, so we're looking for the name of this particular song. You can give me the band as well if you want to. But let's have a listen to this and see who can spot it. And there we have it. Oh, let me skip this advert that's trying to happen. And I think I got that so that we stopped it. Right, there we go. Right, looking into the live chat room we have... Okay, I'm going to scroll up to see it. If anybody's got it quickly. I think this is probably relatively well-known. Well, certainly a well-known band. And... okay, right, the first correct answer that I can see on my screen has come in from Barbara, who says, Now I'm Here by Queen. So yes, congratulations to Barbara for getting that. And I can see that lots of people are saying, Phil Jam, please. But we have to hit, there's got to be some level of authority or... some level of hitting the likes goal. We then have a Phil Jam, and I know that sometimes when we're quite close to it I start the Phil Jam, but I mean it's already midnight here, so I can't go on, and it is quite a long one. It's going to be 8 minutes and 52 seconds, so I can't go on for too long. This is the other thing to mention is, let me just go through the live chat room to see. Barbara got that, and Steve said Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Rainbow. So close. Kevin, I think Kevin got it as well. Now I'm Here by Queen with a question mark. Oh, that was Lucy that said that as well. I think Kevin got it without a question mark. I just scrolled down really fast. Just missed everything. So, yes, congratulations to those of you that have guessed that correctly. It was Now I'm Here by Queen. And I can see that Anna's got it as well. And yes, Lucy. Yeah, okay. I scrolled up and then scrolled it down. Curious says, can you play it again? So no, only one attempt at the riffs of the week. And yes, congratulations to everybody that got that riff correct. Right, we are going to be calling things to a close. And, I mean, the other thing to mention is that these live streams now are moderated independently. So it means that there are moderators, looking at they don't get involved because, yeah, as regular viewers will know, if you've been watching for any length of time, we had a situation where I was going to have to stop live streaming, and unless I could find a way of organising things so that the moderating could be done independently of people that are involved with the channel. So that is what's happening. That's what happens on the live streams, and the reason that I can't just go on ad infinitum is that those people have to get back to their lives because they are doing it for me. So the reason that we can live stream in the first place really is because of the moderators and just keeping an eye on everything in that live chat room. So yes, a huge thanks to them. And yeah, if I was to start an almost 10-minute Phil Jam now, that would be like going way over, because I do say that the live streams go from in the UK time, but they go on for an hour and a quarter. So we've already gone on for an hour and 19 minutes. So technically, the moderators are doing overtime. So a huge thank you to them for their patience, because I know that I have gone over in the past as well. But yeah, we have to keep quite strict with things. We have to hit the likes goal. So yeah, maybe we'll keep the same goal for Saturday, and we'll try and drum up as many likes as we can get. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, you can still hit the thumbs up. It really does help the live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. It is much appreciated that you join me on the live streams for the channel. And I'm just going to make sure that I don't miss anything, such as, this donation right at the end. Elaine has donated £15.29. So thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, this is a bribe to break the Phil Jam rule and give us one, even if we don't make it to 375. Pretty please, ? And thank you for that, Elaine. But like I've just said, it's now 20 past midnight, so we're going to have to call it a day. But thank you for that. We're going to have to really work for it on Saturday, because like I said, it is a huge target, 375. But I will try to remember to set up the live stream maybe a little bit early on Saturday or on Friday night, which is when I normally do it, to see if we can get as many as possible. So thank you guys for joining me. Like I said, I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so check that out and make sure you subscribe to get notified for that particular video. I'm going to be back with a live stream on Saturday night where we may have Phil Jam number 60. So hopefully you can join me then. That's where I will be, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time as always. So thank you, Jan, for that 20 Norwegian kroner donation right at the end there, saying cool again. And yeah, I'm going to be calling it to a close now. So thank you for joining me. As I always say, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!